Yung pag-akyat ba, is that purely optimism for what it could be later on? Or you fear that umakyat siya, medyo hindi supported the numbers, we may see a drop also later on as well?
Yeah, it can go both ways, Marvin, no? Yung I'm going to the negative muna. Kasi tama ka doon, no? Because the numbers will not match when the reporting comes. Oh, ang laki ng tinaas ito pero yung revenue nito hindi naman lumaki or nag-contract pa. So that means there will be some challenges there, no? Eventually, in valuation. Okay. Magiging very expensive yung mga stocks na to if they maintain the current level of prices without the necessary revenue na pumapasok. That is what I am concerned about. Kung sobrang bilis ng pag-grow.
Hi guys, we are with our resident economist, Dr. Alvin Ang. And as you all know, we just got the third quarter GDP results, and as part of what we've been doing since the start of the lockdowns and the impact of the coronavirus to the economy, we have been giving out updates, and Dr. Alvin Ang has been giving us very, very timely and relevant data, especially for those of you who are investors or entrepreneurs na gusto malaman to at kailangan to on a very, very practical and layman basis. So, Dr. Alvin Ang, how are you? How are you also on top of all of the storms that have happened?
Thank you, Marvin, and I'm really glad na palagi mo akong giniguest. I'm happy to be able to share what I know and ano man yung na-analyze namin.
Let's start with the GDP, no? It's better than the second quarter, pero everyone was expecting it naman that it should have been better really than the second quarter. Can you give a sense to everyone what's your reading on the disclosure that we just got?
Yes, actually, I was one of those who were disappointed because I was expecting single digit na sana yung contraction, because at the rate we are going, it's very easy to remain double digit till the end of the year, full year, because the impact of many policies already done should have been much better now. So clearly, there are a lot of levers that you have to move. Marami kang dapat kalawin, hindi lang yung opening ng economy. Kailangan meron kang iba pang factors na kailangan gawin, and that being said is really very challenging for the Philippines, because we monitor also yung ASEAN, our neighbors, and for example Malaysia performed worse than us in the second quarter. It was -17, tayo -16.5, konti lang naman, but in the third quarter minus na lang sila, -2.
Wow,
big jump in recovery, so that means may combination of factors that you need to calibrate. It's a calibration thing, and it's very taxing for the government to just do it by themselves. But unfortunately, like what we said early on in March, nung una pa tayo nag-uusap, sabi ko namin sa'yo, di ba, government has to do whatever it takes. Kasi this recession is gargantuan, malaki siya, It's not a financial crisis. It's not a debt crisis, It's a crisis because you stop both supply and demand. Yun. And that's why medyo kung in-stop mo siya, who else will have to do the supply and demand? The government has to fill in that shoes. And everywhere in the world, that is really what they are supposed to be doing. It's not easy.
I think in the process of passing another set of stimulus package of sorts also for us, is that enough already to sort of add another layer of jolt to the economy, or will that bring us to positive growth again?
Ang tinitingnan ko kasi, Marvin, two elements, So sabi ko nga, yung government has to do it. So the main weapon was fiscal stimulus, yung bayanihan. they release the money. So kasi walang gumagalaw, so I put the money in. So supposed to be to like a pump na nilalagyan mo ng water, so the water will start again. But then the only thing different there is you have to give both the consumers and the producers. So you have to spread the resources so that it will pump again. Our challenge, however, is that the money is actually not much, no, compared to ASEAN.
It's very small.
We did not release the biggest stimulus because, in fairness to government, the private sector naman, especially the big ones, they're helping. So okay sana. I think the bigger part of, sabi ko nga, yung calibration part was that government did not anticipate yung yung capacity constraints niya, na overwhelming yung need eh. So like for example, the money that they give to the people, the ayuda, ang tagal na karating nun. No? Okay siya kasi na-spread out, pero in a way, no, yun din yung isang reason, hindi kailangan ng mga tao yung pera, lalo na yung mga small enterprises, for example, they need the resources. So the delay of the capacity to release the money affected the performance of the economy. And plus yung I think in the third quarter, about July, August, nagkaroon ng fear uli yung tao ng August when we have to do MECQ again, right? So the people parang, tumataas na yung case, kala namin bumababa na. So the fear factor came back. But then the government program only a little amount din. Yung Bayanihan 2 is not as big as Bayanihan 1. So they were already expecting that by opening up the economy, the economy will already recover. So partial lang. Plus, one of the biggest thing that we saw in this third quarter data is that government expenditures actually only increase marginally when they're supposed to increase more than what we expected. So second quarter 22% growth yan eh. Pagdating ng third quarter 5% na lang. So we were expecting at least double digit dapat. You're pumping money eh, 'di ba? You're pumping the economy. I think the backlog was in construction, and construction was surprisingly minus 30%. So that means parang walang nangyari, no? And the government was actually saying, di ba, we will use build, we will push it. You know? That was the major factor that delayed or slowed down the contraction. Kung siguro dumami yung construction, maraming project ang tumakbo, tapos yes, okay lang, may fear factor, may confidence issue, but still you continue with the build. Mukhang the problem was on that side. The build slowed down a lot. Kaya ang tawag nga namin doon, dapat spend eh. So nangyari, nag-slowed down siya. On the private sector side, meron ng effort eh. For example, manufacturing, wow, very quickly, single digit contraction na lang. That is already something else. I'm not expecting it to be single digit by the third quarter. Expect ko sa fourth quarter pa eh. But umakyat na siya. Plus trade, imports and exports, yung contraction niya nag-half from minus 30 something, minus 40 something to minus 15 to range 15 to 20. So half na. So nag-recover more likely, tamang term, recovery na eh. We're hoping this fourth quarter, yung trend sa manufacturing will continue because that's a very crucial element. And ang basa ko doon, China was pulling manufacturing up because of the global value chain. China grew almost 5% in the third quarter. So parang nahila.
Siguro this is being recorded almost at the end of November. Halos tapos na rin yung fourth quarter, or we're in the middle of the fourth quarter already. Given yung mga nakikita mo also, are we seeing the construction that's needed on the fourth quarter, or you think mukhang hindi rin talaga ganun din kalakas yet? Kasi ako, what I've noticed though is from the start of November, people have been going out more eh. I don't know kung napansin mo yun, pero I don't know kung Christmas yung nagbago, people have been shopping, or people something clicked eh, na parang sige, labas na tayo ulit. Ang layo na natin kung ano yung itsura ng yung people flow nung May, June, sobrang layo na, sobrang dami ng taong lumalabas ngayon?
Well, magandang mga signs yan. Maganda nga. The important element, however, confidence is important. So it's coming back. But it has to be supported by, as I said, a combination of factor. So, para sa akin, still, kailangan mo pa rin nung help from government. Like, for example, what you don't see here are small firms. Hindi nakikita. Siyempre, what you see in the malls are the big firms, big retailers. But many small resellers or sellers or restaurants or mga liliit, nagko-close down sila. So you really have to help them. Para sa akin, yun yung kailangan bigyan mo ng loans na to tide them over. Kung hindi, like you subsidize the salary of their people para to keep them afloat. Kasi the thing here is that kasi globalized na yung economy natin. You notice, no, nung bumaba nung walang importation, nag-appreciate na yung peso. Ibig sabihin, wala activity dito. Di ba? Very little economic activity. That's what you don't want na mag-slow down pa yung yung trade mo. So maganda na sana doon. So it has to be supported by more confidence building measure. Para sa akin, kung ako, I will now say, sige, I'll give you more stimulus kasi partly November, December, 13th month pay ng mga tao i-release, di ba? So dapat maghanda ka ng stimulus for January kasi wala na naman ng pera. So it's just to pull up the momentum. Ako, I'm no longer looking at the number 2020 growth. Mahirap. Wala ka nang kailangan tignan doon. You look now, 2021, and how you trim the contraction. Kasi I think yung contraction will extend to first and second quarter pa next year. Pwede may growth ka na sa second quarter kasi sobrang baba ng previous year. Pero yung first quarter, baka contraction pa rin . Kaya, you want to arrest that. So, maglagay ka na ng stimulus kasi wala nang 13th-month pay sa January, and usual naman yan every January walang pera mga tao kasi naubos ang Christmas.
Totoo. Got it. The market, I'll just connect it to the stock market, has gone up massively. Do you fear that since from 4,500 to 7,000 plus, it has gone up so much, pero it's so far from what the economic numbers are saying? Siguro my question is, yung pag-akyat ba, is that purely optimism for what it could be later on? Or you fear that umakyat siya, medyo hindi supported the numbers, we may see a drop also later on as well?
Yeah, it can go both ways, Marvin, Yung I'm going to the negative muna. Kasi tama ka doon, because the numbers will not match when the reporting comes. Ang laki ng tinaas ito pero yung revenue nito hindi naman lumaki or nag-contract pa. So that means there will be some challenges there. Eventually, valuation. Okay. Magiging very expensive yung mga stocks na to if they maintain the current level of prices without the necessary revenue na pumapasok. That is what I am concerned about. Kung sobrang bilis ng pag-grow. Kaya kailangan ma-compensate siya. Kailangan humabol agad yung confidence na yung expectation na malaking drop na-trim mo siya like half. Then the prices will be sustained. That's the thing I was thinking about. So for example, sa banks, very clear yan Madali kasi sa bangko kasi they have loan loss provision. Mag-loan loss provision ka lang. Alam mo na, walang problema yung bangko. They might have very low income, but dahil sasabihin nila, ni loan loss provision ko hindi talaga siya bumaba. Actually, yung mga banks, financial sector in general, up about 6%, This is the industry that heads tail will always win, the financial industry. Because kailangan ng liquidity ng economy. However, yung yung downside noon, especially if the numbers will continue to reflect weakness. And in that context, posible may correction ka. And I'm thinking about that. May correction yan. Especially if the buyers are not buying because of the value of the stock or or the importance of those stocks in the economy. Kung sumasakay lang, yun ang mahirap. So it's very important right now na tingnan. Kasi if you look at the performance of the index stocks, yung talagang malaking returns, those are the only essential industries eh. Yung iba negative pa rin naman sila hanggang ngayon eh. Diba? So ngayon umaakyat na sila. I think monitor ko every month eh. Sino yung sumasama doon sa nagpa-positive na. For a long time, 3 lang, 4 lang yata yung positive dyan eh. Diba? Yung mga essentials, telecoms, retail, tsaka parang ayun lang eh. Tapos the rest, later na po nagpo-pull up because nga of optimism. Which I support, no? Talagang kailangan natin na ma-convert yung we have to convert it to some kind of confidence to the economy. Yun naman, if kaya nga sinasabi ko yung critical yung role ng government, eh, no? So if in the first quarter or kahit hindi pa first quarter before the year end this year, this next few weeks, they'll announce we'll add more stimulus, no? Yun. So yung signing of the budget before the end of the year will be critical, no, yung mga yan. It can like create optimism sa mga tao na yeah, we are going to go back up, no? If you look at the landscape of the economic performance, not only Philippines, worldwide, particularly ASEAN, I'm monitoring ASEAN, yung level of growth we had in 2019, yung actual, will only get back to that mga 2-3 years eh. Even with very good performance. Kasi nga maraming humina talaga, sobrang hina. And there are about 20%, my own general estimate is about 20% of the economy cannot fit in somewhere. Parang na-misplace sila, and this is where you either the private sector picks that up or the government picks that up.
We just had a couple of typhoons, and pinaka-natamaan yung Bicol region, tsaka natamaan yung Isabela, Cagayan Valley region. And how does it impact our GDP as well? Kasi when people were factoring in magde-negative yung fourth quarter, wala pa yung typhoons nung nangyari lahat to eh. So adding that also, I assume may mga nasalanta na crops dyan, may nasalanta also that are heavily connected to trade, at least dun sa region na yun. What's the impact on this?
Well, I actually played up the numbers after the storms. My estimate is about 50% of the economy were exposed to the typhoon. Kasi Region 2, Region 3, Region 4A, Calabar, and then NCR. No? Pag actually Calabar, NCR, easily 60% na ng economy yan eh. So sabi natin 50%. And siyempre, most of the hit were in agri. Hindi naman yung industrial part except some parts of Batangas. But our lesson was in the first quarter, you hit when the Taal exploded, you hit the Region 4 area, kung saan yung mga factories mo. Wala kaya agad ng impact sa economy, di ba? Wala pang COVID yun. Di ba? Wala pa, kaumpisa pa lang. See? And ito naman reverse, no? It's the agri part where we actually were expecting some growth, but now this is something we cannot control, nature to. My initial estimate for the fourth quarter, the contraction would be about -7.
Whoa.
-7 pa yan. Initial pa yan kasi nga ang tagal ng recovery natin dun sa ibang aspect. So this will add another -4, -5. So double digit ka na naman. Ito yung sinasabi ko. The full year, it can be really -11 ang GDP natin, contraction natin, -11. We don't want to try to catch up with that kasi importante ngayon, bumabalik na yung confidence. How do we now sustain it? How do we add more fuel to the fire? Umaakyat na eh. Maganda na yung confidence sa mga tao. It's really a confidence issue eh. And
totoo.
Kailangan, kahit may confidence, kailangan pa rin may gawin yung government. Kailangan maglagay pa din sila. Kasi the private sector, ginawa na lahat. Angat-ingat, ano ba yan? Kung ano-ano na, nagsama-sama na sila for people to go out. But still, we are still there. Ang tanong kasi, sino ba yung may capacity ngayon? Sino ba yung may income pa? Very little na lang ang ano mo, no? Yung consuming base mo na merong capacity to consume beyond the essentials. Otherwise, they will just consume the essentials. Yun lang ikutan nung ano. Kasi I also look at the manufacturing. Ang pinakamalaking growth talaga ngayon, pharma. Hindi pa yan sa medicine, puro yan sa vitamins lang. So, I talk to some pharma people, yun din ang sabi nila, well, we are not selling vitamins only, we have many other products, but the thing is, people are not buying their maintenance medicine, they're all buying vitamins. The financial sector, relatively okay. So but yung ibang sector, yun nga, yung mga big caps lang talaga ang makikinabang dito. And that's why yun ang ano ko. How do you channel it to the others? Kasi hopefully the big caps that they are continuing to operate, they pull up the others through their own value chains, no? May mga value chains naman sila eh. So yun sana yung panghila natin.